to We Are Extension, a podcast hosted by K-State Extension in Douglas County, Kansas. We Are Extension showcases all aspects of Extension, including various segments hosted by our office's staff. Every week, we'll highlight a different program area that will bring you unique, seasonal, research-based information for practical use and so much more. Look forward to learning something new as we all work towards making Douglas County, Kansas a better place to live for all. Welcome back to the We Are Extension podcast. My name is Elesha, the communications coordinator, welcoming you for the final time to the final podcast of the year. That's right. This podcast will continue without me in the future as I will be moving on to other opportunities in the new year. Not to worry though, We Are Extension will have new behind the scenes workers as well as the same wonderful staff with new stories and more research-based information and resources to share after we take a break. I hope you look forward to it and all the wonderful things to come. It's a very popular phrase, but nothing sums up the year more than time flies when you're having fun. We have had so much fun since launching in May of this year. On behalf of everyone here at the Douglas County, Kansas Extension Office, thank you for tuning in, not only to learn research-based information from our program areas, but also for joining in on the conversations. Since this is the final episode of the year, we are doing something different. I've spoken to several members of our staff and volunteers about how their year has gone and some reflections they've had, as well as what they're looking forward to for next year. Join me as we listen in on those conversations and learn more about Douglas County Extension along the way. Let's get started. Now we're here with Marlon Bates, the Community Development Agent, as well as our County Extension Director. Hello, Marlon.
Hi, Elesha.
This year, how did it go? What was your favorite Douglas County Extension memory of this year?
I haven't heard anybody else's responses, so I'm curious if anybody else had a hard time picking one.
Not yet. I've spoken to a couple of people and they've had one that popped out a bit more. Because I often encourage them, hey, if you're thinking about two, pick the second one. Because if you really wanted the first one, you wouldn't be thinking so hard about the second one.
Oh, that's a good point.
So yeah.
You always give such great advice.
Oh, thanks.
So I think for me, the community development program area, our partnership with the Douglas County Community Foundation blossomed in a couple different ways this year. So we offered up I think a pretty wonderful workshop for nonprofit organizations here in Douglas County.
Is that the ask one?
Yeah, making the ask. So like just kind of how do you get over the hump of asking people for money to support your organization? So it was kind of a day-long workshop and it was wonderful. And I think people were generally pretty appreciative of it. But the cool thing about it was, you know, we were like, we made people sort of make commitments.
Oh, yeah.
Not to us, but to themselves and to their organization. Like, what are you going to do in the next week? What are you going to do in the next month? You know, and then there's little pieces of paper they could write on and take that back to the office and kind of think that through. But then a couple of weeks later, we were like, hey, we want to be your accountability partner. So if you're up for it, here are 3 Zoom call options. Join one of these. And
cool.
we want to talk about what you've done since the workshop.
Oh, that's
and we want
cool.
you to revisit those things that you made a commitment to do.
That's good.
So we've actually done more than 3 because we just continue to re-engage.
Yeah, you created a mini pocket of community and you keep following through that.
And from those conversations, we're getting a lot of ideas in terms of like how else we can help the nonprofit community here in Douglas County. So I got to point to that and just acknowledge that that's really celebratory because last year they were the Friend of Extension, so named by our executive council.
I remember. It was great.
And then they're also celebrating 25 years this year.
Yes, that's amazing.
Hard to believe 2025 is coming to an end, but as I reflect back, if I have to pick one, it's going to be that partnership with the Community Foundation. They're such a wonderful organization. They do such great work for us.
Yeah, and they're such kind people. I love chatting with them whenever they come by. Yeah, I think you chose a great highlight for your year. Yeah, and just to wrap things up, this year, of course, was wonderful. And I'm always in the habit, however, of looking ahead. Is there anything that's coming up next year that you're the most excited about or something you're thinking about developing in some sort?
Yeah. Well, you're right, Elesha. This year was wonderful on so many different fronts. And there were some not so great parts about 2025 too.
Yeah.
So here in this office, we lost federal funding for 3 people that are in our office. It's a fairly significant proportion of our folks. But one of the things I could have pointed to on favorite memories is that we managed to sustain 2 of those positions.
Yes.
And so what I'm looking forward to for this coming year is like, we got to crack that nut to figure out like, how do we make that long-term sustainable?
Permanent. Yeah.
So we've got, short-term dollars to cover those two positions that we were able to rescue, so to speak. But we have a challenge in front of us, and they're multifaceted challenges. Yeah. But I think we as a team are up for it, and I'm really excited to see like how we can turn that into not just the sustaining of those two positions, but like how else do we kind of figure out like how we grow this organization so that we can do bigger, better impact in our community.
Yeah, I feel that. That's really great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to reflect and look ahead during this special recording for the last podcast of the year.
Thanks for the opportunity.
I'm here with Stuart Bowley, a member of our board and an Extension Master Food volunteer. One of the few faces that welcomed me when I started here. I'm excited to be interviewing him as well today. So hello.
Hi, Elesha. Good to be here.
I'm glad. Thank you for making time in your super busy schedule. I was talking to Stuart earlier, and I thought for a minute that he had retired from the board because of all the other things he was doing. And he was like, nope. Still there.
Yep, still there.
Many things that he's working on. So I have a quick question for you. I'm going around asking volunteers from all aspects of Extension, hey, what was the most amazing part for you in Extension as a volunteer? Because I know volunteers have been super busy this year, doing a lot of great things to help Douglas County. Amidst the other chaos going on in the world, they're still doing their best to fight food insecurity in that capacity. So you're one of the dual-wielding volunteers. You do the council and act as an Extension Master Food volunteer. So you can let me know from each realm of which you serve. What was your best memory?
I got to tell you, the focus for me is the kitchen sale.
Yes.
That is just an amazing day. And you know that because you're part of it. You're very involved in that.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, Caitlin, I always make sure you're recruited already, so put it on your calendar.
March 28th of next year.
Exactly. Yeah. I was talking to Joan yesterday, another Extension Master Food volunteer, and she also expressed the excitement for that in some capacity. Yeah.
But this year, it really was wonderful. And it's a big day out here at the fairgrounds for the kitchen sale. But it's the culmination of a lot of work. Yes. There's a lot of generosity from our community.
Super wonderful.
Where people bring forward items from their kitchens that they're not using now, but they realize still have value.
Yes.
And so for folks who are trying to prepare food on a budget, they can equip their kitchens at our kitchen sale from the generosity of our community. So there's all this work that gets done ahead of the kitchen sale. Yes. There's all this generosity of the donations that come in.
And then the sorting.
And the sorting and the processing.
The cleaning, the checking.
And then moving over into the Flory building. And then the day comes and people are genuinely happy to be there.
Yeah.
The people who come and shop are really surprised at how wonderful this stuff is.
Yeah.
And the volunteers are so happy to see this part of the community come in and gain the facility to equip their kitchens. It's a wonderful event.
I think so too. And I think it's also worth mentioning that a lot of generous people, they have gifts that were given to them that they never opened, that they feel like, okay, I haven't opened it in this long. I'm going to give it to someone that can enjoy it. Right. So instead of like lightly used kitchen items, sometimes they bring in still boxed. I remember, was it 2 years ago? There were a lot of kitchen aids or something, like 6 of them.
We had a whole bunch of kitchen aids, yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Those mixers are truly, it's like the gold standard of a kitchen mixer.
Exactly. So yes, as Stuart said, it was such an amazing experience. And it seems like that's also what you're looking forward to next year.
Yeah, and I talked about the community and the volunteers, but the staff is also wonderful. I mean, they really turn out for that. And we had a great intern this last year, too.
Yes, they were
Ruby
awesome.
was just, really, and she got into it. And so there's just a lot of joy around this event.
Yeah. If you guys listening would like to, you can go back in the timeline of our Facebook and you can see pictures of them at the kitchen sale having a great time with everyone. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Well, it's great to be here with you.
Yeah.
I'm so fond of the Extension Service and what it brings to our community. It's not just the kitchen sale. There's so much more, and that's where I get to see it from the Extension Extension Council viewpoint, this is one aspect of it. It's important to me, but there's a lot of others. 4-H, agriculture and horticulture. Master gardeners are wonderful too. So,
yeah, amazing.
There's a lot to be happy about out
There's
there.
a lot to be happy
It's
about,
fun to be able to share my moment of joy.
Yeah, and thank you so much for all that you do as well. We couldn't do it without the hardworking work of our council, our board, and the volunteers all working together, as well as the staff all working together to make Douglas County, as we say, a better place to live. So thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
I am here with Nikki Harding, the popular 4-H agent of Douglas County and youth development as well. Let me not forget that, because she does more than 4-H. What is one thing that you are looking back at that has been the best memory of 2025?
I really most excited about and moving forward would be, for the last couple of years, we have really been trying to figure out how to start an in-school 4-H club. In order for us to be able to reach more people, right, we really try to make sure kids in Douglas County all around, whether they're a traditionally enrolled member or not, we really want them to have a 4-H experience. And one great way for us to be able to do that, and even to be able to provide what somewhat of that club experience is like, is by hosting a club in a school. Maybe it was towards the end of the summer is when finally that opportunity was presented.
Woo.
And so we have managed to, we're actually getting ready here in just a little bit, we're going to be going into the school tomorrow. So we were able to start an in-school 4-H club at Hillcrest Elementary. Mm-hmm. And so this is brand new. I have no idea what an in-school club, like what that will all look like. So I'm super grateful for the staff at Hillcrest and for the students at Hillcrest that are going to be participating. So I think that looking back for this last year, just because it's been a process, this has been about a 2-year process. Wow. This has been the most exciting new experience, at least for me personally, to have for this last year.
That's great. And I think it just rolls right over to my final question for you. It seems like that's something you're really looking forward to getting started next year. Is that one of your highlights for what's coming up next year?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, just because this is so new and we started in the new 4-H year, that's kind of proper, great time to get the club started. So we're really just getting established for these first few months here at the end of the year. So moving into next year, we'll, continue on, and it's just going to be exciting to see how that rolls out, what the kids gain from that experience.
Yeah, and how it grows and expands. Because I'm sure that Hillcrest is just a start, right?
Yes, that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Definitely what I'm hoping. So yeah, I think for next year, that'll also, it's going to be super exciting.
Well, thank you so much for everything you've done for Extension and for the community this year. You guys have been working super hard, and I know that only great things are coming up next year. But thanks so much again for taking the time.
Thanks, Elesha.
So I'm here with the popular, well-known name in the 4-H industry, Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hi.
Thank you for making the time to come on the podcast.
Thanks for inviting me, Elesha.
Yeah, no problem. I was so happy. So as I say for a lot of our volunteers, I was so happy to catch her. She was here in a meeting with Nikki, the 4-H youth development agent here. And I was like, Sue, give me a second. So right place, right time. So Sue, I'm going around asking this year, as a 4-H volunteer in your case, what was your favorite or your highlight of this year?
Well, as the last 20-some years, I've been the 4-H Ambassador Advisor, which is a group of teenagers that represent the county 4-H program with the public mostly. But we also do all kinds of other activities, whatever they ask us to do, we do. So I was trying to think of something different that we had done this year, and we actually did do a couple of new things, so I thought I'd highlight those. In February, we invited 4-H ambassador teams from the Frontier District, which is, I think, Osage, Franklin, and Anderson County to come up and with their teams. And basically, they just had a great day of fun activities. We shared a meal, and we shared a lot of ideas, things that they do with their teams and that we do with our teams. And we learned that several of those teams play a bigger role during the fair, the county fairs in their counties. And one thing they do is often plan activities for 4-Hers to do during the fair.
That's exciting.
Yeah, So,
I remember seeing you last year. They were painting a little thing for, I think it was a year or so ago, they were painting something for fair visitors to stick their head into.
yes, we still use that. Probably needs a little touch up by now, but we're still using it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, those two girls that did that are, off to college now. So.
That is insane how quickly time flies.
I know,
here.
it does.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
does.
Well, that's great, Sue. I have another question for you. So, seeing as you have reflected on all the new things that were really exciting for you this year, is there anything coming up next year that's also something you're looking forward to for 4-H?
Well, every year I totally look forward to meeting the new teammates, members that come on. And we just got through with our interview process. That's where you saw me the other day.
Yes, that's right.
We had several younger members that want to be ambassadors this year. So it looks like we're going to have a bigger team,
Exciting.
which makes it more likely that we can do more activities, which I always hope. Because the kids that apply for this are already the ones that are active at school or in their church or at their local 4-H clubs. So it's hard sometimes to do as much as we want to do if we don't have enough to do it. So hopefully a bigger team will mean we can have more outreach with the community. That's
exciting. Well, I look forward to seeing what 4-H does next year. And I know I'm going to see your name 1,000 times. So I'm excited to see that you did.
That may be good news or bad news. You never know.
It's always good news in my opinion. Thank you so much for coming out for this short interview, Sue.
Thank you.
All right. I'm here outside in the fairgrounds parking lot, meeting up with a very busy, very sought after Extension Master volunteer, Margaret, who is also retired from being our fair organizer in the background.
Yes, in the background.
And that's just one of the many things she does here. I'm asking volunteers such as yourself, what was your favorite memory of 2025?
Well, I like to combine my Master Food Volunteer activities with the 4-H activities. Besides being a Master Food Volunteer, I'm also one of the food superintendents at the county fair, and I put on food preservation workshops. And I just did one a couple weeks ago, and we had some 4-H kids that came, and I saw them on Sunday, and they were just thrilled with what they were able to take home, to have, to eat. So I hope I've sparked an interest in learning more about food preservation.
Yes, I think you do, because all the kiddos, they're always excited for your class. Even if you volunteer during one of our youth programs during the summer, they're always excited to have you come teach them sewing or something of the other, because they say Jane of all trades.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yes, I do teach along with Trudy Rice, who used to be the extension director here.
Yeah.
She and I worked with the kids that are enrolled in sewing, and so we've tried to do lots of different activities when we meet with them so they can figure out different things to do. And we're looking forward to having maybe a 3-day mini camp during spring break come March, where the kids can come in and we'll work on things like putting in a zipper and sewing on a button and hand stitching. So some fun activities.
That's exciting. I kind of want to join, because the last time I sewed anything, it was in middle school, maybe.
Oh, you better come.
I am out of practice. I think I made a pillowcase.
Oh, yeah. We've made lots of pillowcases or reading pillows or very simple things that you don't have to have a pattern for.
Okay, great, because I don't like patterns. I'm more of a free will person.
Well, we have a few of those kids that are free will, and it's been amazing what some of those have made.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I will definitely look into that class come next year.
Okay, well, I'll make sure that you show up.
Okay, definitely. And she definitely 100% will. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for talking to me.
You too, Elesha.
Right now, I am with our agriculture agent, Margit Kaltenecker. Hi, Margit.
Hey. Hi, Elesha.
Thank you so much for making the time today. I'm going around asking all of our wonderful, hardworking staff about how they feel this year has been. A story, a highlight, anything that they feel was the most exciting or memorable part, I should say, of 2025. So that's the question for you. Just let me know briefly, what is something that pops out in your mind as like, oh, as an ag agent, this is something that really excited me in 2025?
Oh gosh, it's hard to choose always, because I so enjoy interacting with all the different producers, the amazing farmers in our community. And so we had a few different field tours with Growing Lawrence, a specialty crop producers organization we co-host. And then we had a field day with a grazing network of horse owners. And all through it, we had some great soil health conference meetings in late winter, spring. And throughout it all, it's always about the network. And so I just can only give thanks always every year for the opportunity to serve our community and interact with people, learn what their challenges are, learn where the opportunities are. And so part of where I just feel so privileged is building that knowledge base about soil health and regenerative agriculture, because I see so much potential for really not only decreasing costs of production and, economic motivation, but increasing soil resiliency and health in our farm operations that will ultimately provide more abundance and more, just greater quality, greater productivity without all the inputs. And so I've just really enjoyed building the knowledge, working with partners and working with the producers.
Yeah. I think that's a really great thing to reflect on. It's just the people, the connections you made along the way being so insightful. And speaking of that, how is it that you are going to utilize this great highlight or not, but what's happening next year that you find to be
action?
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily put it into action, but I just was thinking about, this is some great highlights. What is it that you're going to look forward to for next year?
Yeah, just continue the work, right, primarily. And I'm really hoping, we do have some soil health workshops we're planning, and maybe a cow-calf workshop for beginning cattle producers, or there might be a farm labor workshop series, stuff like that. But I think that overall, I'm hoping to really start to build a farmer to farmer mentoring network for these farmers that want to get in conversation about soil health and how we can better improve the management practices and learn from each other. And then potentially, if we get a grant, then we might be able to actually put some more effort into some local on-farm trials that working with Douglas County Conservation District and a couple of our agronomists, perhaps through K-State Extension, et cetera. And this could just be a great learning opportunity, and sort of sometimes you just got to try things. See where they take you. Working with the farmers, the research part is sort of the unknown. The other things are pretty much on the books.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's all happening. And then, as I continue to just build the knowledge base, and then, bringing it all back home is really what it is, so that we can see the difference especially in our soil and water conservation.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the time, Margit. I always appreciate all the hard work you do, not only in the office, but to help all those farmers that come in and out, all those people with brome questions and different things. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your year, and I'm looking forward to all the awesome work you're going to do next year as well.
Thank you.
I am back with Hillary Cass, the Kaw Valley Farm Tour Coordinator. Hi, Hillary.
Hi, Elesha.
Well, as you know, this is the last episode of the year. What was your favorite memory of this year particularly?
Well, it wasn't really hard to think, because what I didn't realize in this position is that I would get to ride on ATVs.
Oh my
gosh. So I had no idea that this was going to be a thing. So when a person shows some interest in being on the farm tour, a farm says, hey, I've heard about the farm tour and I think we might like to do that. I, of course, need to go out and visit them. Yeah. And I get there and they say, well, can you just hop on this ATV and I'll take you all around? And I'm like, yes, please.
Don't have to ask me twice.
Don't have to ask me twice. It really is just such a fun thing to hop on one of those. Obviously, I live in the city. I don't own
city girl
one of those. And so the one that comes up first for me is I was out at the garden at Dogwood Forest, which is in Kansas City, Kansas. And it's their first year on the farm tour. And Rick invites me to go look around. And he says to his little 4-year-old grandson, do you want to go? And his grandson's like, yeah, just hops in the back. Like you can tell he's done it 1,000 times. He's got no shoes on. And we just hop on this ATV and we're just going through this forest that's full of pawpaw trees.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
And these different, he does a lot of research on his farm. So he's explaining these places. And every time we would stop, his little grandson would hop off, grab a stick, start digging in the dirt, looking around. It's just so fun to see this perfect little tiny human in nature. You could tell he was just so completely comfortable. So
I guarantee you by the age of 7 or 6, that same child will have in their head exactly how to drive that thing.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
of how many times.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was like in particular, but I've had several ATV experiences on farms.
Oh,
at
you're a pro now.
wineries.
Yeah.
It's just such a great way, obviously, to see what's happening.
That's
so
beautiful.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, before I let you go, I just have one more question. You've had all these amazing experiences this year. What is something you're excited about for the year to come?
Well, I think what I'm excited about is to do this again.
Yeah.
And of course, there are farms who've been on the farm tour every year, so for 21 years now. But then sometimes farms drop off. And then, of course, we always want to add farms because what I hear from people is they say, I go on farm tour every year. So I love it when there's new farms. So it's great to bring on the new farms. And then what's super exciting is to see the excitement in those people. They've heard about farm tour for a long time. Now they've decided that they think they've got what it takes
to take on the self-guided tour.
Yeah, because it's a big deal for them. So
you might not know this, but the Kaw Valley Farm Tour was one of the first dates I did with my now husband.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh,
but yeah,
goodness.
definitely was a memorable first date where we just toured around because I was like, I'm going to do it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Elesha.
Bye.
Bye.
Our community health and wellness agent, Caitlin, and Livewell Executive Director, Ginny. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
I'm so happy that you guys chose to be here with me today. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. Maybe a little bit tired. It's been a long year. Yes.
Yeah. Looking back, what was the highlight of this year to you?
Okay, so I am going to go with Live Well. This is actually maybe a joint one. Let me just share the credit. So Live Well and Extension, we serve as co-conveners with the Douglas County Food Policy Council for our Community Health Improvement Plan. And this has been a challenging year, but I also think it's been really empowering to see the partnerships that have evolved. So we're working to address food security in Douglas County, not an easy thing to do. And we're working on making those policy systems and environmental changes. And we have made some progress. So it's hard to see that sometimes with some of the other changes that have happened over the course of the year. But I still think that we've made some good progress and we've laid a foundation for continuing those partnerships for the next several years.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I do remember you guys talking about that. How about you, Caitlin?
So mine is probably less specific as I was trying to think about how to answer this. So Jenny and I have worked together for a couple of years now, but honestly, I feel like we have found our groove. And part of that is figuring out like where our skill sets lie and what we can contribute to collaboratively. And I think this has been our biggest year yet as to what we've been able to accomplish. So what Jenny just talked about, elevating our community health improvement plan work, we are really starting to be known as the food security gals. And like, that's a good thing, right? And it kind of gives me chills and like, oh, what do I want to celebrate this year? I think that for me is a bigger takeaway is us being able to really capitalize on our strengths and knowing where and how we work together, I think has been really helpful. And I do feel fortunate that Jenny and I work so well together.
You guys really do.
I know that is not what we have here at K-State Extension, and the fact that we house our community's Community Health and Wellness Coalition. Like, I don't know of any other extension unit across the state that does that. So the fact that we're able to host that here at K-State Extension with Live Well Douglas County, but also the fact that we work really well together, Jenny and I do, I think is huge and has really helped mobilize our work in a very impactful way.
That is awesome. I love that you guys are known as the food security gals. I mean, it's awesome. If anybody wants to be a superhero for next year's Halloween. All right, the final question for today. What are some things you guys are each respectively looking forward to in your unique path the most for next year?
So I'm going to pick just to be different and have a different topic to share, looking forward to. The other thing that LiveWell has been a lead agency for is our Safe Kids program, which is working to prevent unintentional injuries. And so this last year was really rebuilding that program, building up our volunteer base that works with those different safety topics across the county. And now I feel like, again, we have a good foundation. So looking forward to 2026, and we are actually looking at partnering with 4-H on a safety event in the spring. So now that we have that foundation, we can sort of build on that and create some new partnerships. So yeah, again, I'm relying on my closeness to Douglas County Extension partners.
Yes.
But I think that is really where the power and collaborative work comes from, is creating these partnerships because we can make a bigger impact.
I agree. I think that's really cool. How about you, Caitlin?
This is a hard one for me. I fully
So many good things.
Right. I fully suspect 2026 is going to bring change. I very much have felt that for a while. Part of that knowing that our SNAP Ed program that we had been federally funded since the mid-90s is eliminated effective the end of September of 2025. So for me, attempting to be hopeful and looking into 2026, really being able to build up our health, safety, and wellness program with our direct ed efforts, I think is going to be a big lift for 2026, but an exciting space to be in. So I'm looking forward to working all of those details out and working collaboratively with Michelle Thacker, of course, on our team, and figuring out what kind of exciting new things we can bring to our team here at K-State Extension.
Yeah, Michelle's amazing. I saw all the cool things that are coming up, so be sure to spread the word and check out our website. Everything will be included in the show notes. I want to say thank you again to Ginny and Caitlin for taking the time to be here, and I hope you guys have a great start to a new year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, and I am back with another extension staff, the wonderful, the marvelous, the photogenic Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing well. Excited for this year to end and a new one to begin.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I know this year has been busy.
Yes.
For you, full of ups and downs, and just so happy that you're still here with us, sharing some exciting news. As we wrap up this year, what was your favorite Douglas County Extension memory of 2025?
I would have to say, looking back at all the programming that I've done, and I did programming in the schools, at the elementary level, at the middle school level, at the high school level. I did programming with seniors. I did programming with adults with disabilities. My favorite programming was with the Community Connections students at Pinckney.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the opportunity to get to go to their classroom and work with them and, share some different ideas and ways to incorporate fruits and vegetables and whole grains and low-fat dairy and low-fat protein or lean protein diet. So it was the most, they were all rewarding and enriching, but that one was, I really feel like I made an impact. The students get to pick different clubs that they're in, and I worked specifically with the students that were in cooking club. And so we talked about nutrition, we talked about nutrients, we talked about my plate, we talked about exercise, things that go into making good choices when we eat.
That's good. I often am envious when I see that because I didn't have the same opportunity. I'm one of those pyramid kids and not my plate kids.
Yes.
So it's always fun to hear when they develop these healthy habits when they're younger. So when they grow up, they have them to utilize in everyday life.
Right.
What are you looking forward to the most for next year?
Well, with the ending of SNAP education due to the funding elimination, we are trying a new position, health and safety and wellness educator. And basically formulating what that looks like. What types of classes can we teach? What would people be interested in taking? What do we have to offer that there's an appetite for out there?
Yeah.
And so it's just being able to dive into the things that we already do well and see how we can share that with a different audience.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes, and hopefully at some point be able to also get back to serving the people that need it as well.
Yes.
Because that piece is missing now.
Yes. So if you're listening and you want to fund a program to help our underserved communities, we will, with open arms, welcome you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this conversation, Michelle. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next year as well.
Thank you.
This is Joan, the Extension Master Food Volunteer. Woo! Thank you so much for coming to be a part of this year-end podcast. What was the most exciting memory for you as an Extension volunteer?
I don't have just one because we have
It's hard.
a few.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the most exciting was to watch our organization, the volunteers grow in number.
Yeah.
That was very exciting.
I saw that, yeah.
New personalities bringing new skills and new ideas and new thoughts. And that's always new energy to keep all of us motivated. So that was exciting. And then also doing a coffee chat, which you were very instrumental in giving me some foundational guidance. But chats are happening all over the country with different groups. And it's an outreach that had never been tried before. So I was excited about that.
Yes, that's so cool. Fighting food insecurity, we need an army, right? So it's very good that we are getting that refreshing air. So I do agree, that's pretty exciting. I absolutely love it. What are you looking forward to the most for next year?
I think looking for options to make volunteering simpler for different populations of people.
That's good. That's good.
Because everybody wants to give, and especially during times where there is a lot of food insecurity and a lot of difficulties for families and single people, and just looking for options because not everybody has 100 hours to give.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true.
They may have 20 that can be focused on a very important project.
Thank you so much, Joan. It was a pleasure to have you. I won't keep you long because she's a very busy woman, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. So, yeah.
It's a joy that you had me because this group gives us a lot of joy and it allows us to share empathy with the people we touch every time, but it also allows us to have just that extra energy maybe that we could have lost had we not volunteered.
Yeah. It's like what they say, to teach is to learn, twice to volunteer is to not only help others, help yourself as well. So it's always nice to have that cycle.
Yes.
So thank you so much for being here, Joan.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a great day.
I am now with our horticulture and natural resources agent, Sharon Ashworth. Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
Sharon is one of the most nature-minded people here at the office. Every time I have a question, I go to her, except that one flower you told me. Remember when I had was it like a Venus orchid or something? That's the one thing you're like, nah, not that one.
It was right. It was a house plant.
Yeah. Come back when you have questions about a pond.
Right.
Well, I am so excited to be here with you for this last podcast of the year. Give me your favorite memory of this year.
Well, I guess that would have to be the culmination of the Douglas County Heritage Conservation Grant that I applied for a couple years ago. And it was 2 years of putting together the Natural Resource Fair, basically the resource fair for Douglas County rural residents, and the guide that we put together for people living out in the rural parts of Douglas County.
That was fun.
It's got all the resources necessary to own some land and take care of it.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. If you guys listening do not know, Sharon put together the same research she was just mentioning, and it has everything. If you are living in the countryside, you have zoning questions, pest control, everything that a homeowner would be like, oh my goodness, how can I fix this? Who do I contact? It has it.
Yes, it is the contact guide. It won't have all the answers, but
yes,
it'll
the contact.
It's where to go for the information.
Exactly. Where to go to get help. Exactly.
Right. Where to go to get help.
It doesn't have the answer. It's a good job specifying that. But it has everything that you would possibly think of needing help with.
Right.
So I thought that's a great highlight because I think that was so cool. Come on by. It's free to pick up. So you can come on by and pick them up as long as they're available.
Yeah, and it's online too.
It's also online on the Horticulture and Natural Resources Program Area page. So yeah, give it a look at www.douglas.k-state.edu. let's wrap up with your thoughts on something that you're looking forward to next year.
Well, in general, I always look forward to a new year with Extension Master Gardeners. There's just too many activities to name in one short segment.
So true.
Busy, doing all sorts of things. You know, there's always new ideas, always something new at the demonstration gardens.
Yes.
There's always a new class that starts and is excited. So we all pick the Master Gardeners pick the activities they want to work on for the year come in January. And so that starts the year off with a great deal of excitement and new ideas.
And I think you're celebrating a special number this year.
It will be
next
10 years of me being involved with Extension Master Gardeners next year.
Amazing.
Yes.
I'm telling you, they are an army. They just come in during the season, and she's the commander in the army, so that's pretty impressive.
They are an amazing group of people.
Yes.
They do an incredible amount for the county, and I'm just always so proud of them and just love hanging out with them.
Yeah, and it's because of them we have monthly education opportunities, advanced education opportunities, the horticulture hotline, beautiful demonstration gardens. Thank you as well for your hard work working together with everyone, making those things happen.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think so. Like, go outside, and what is a volunteer told me, I have fun playing in the dirt.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, I am here with Extension Master Gardener and Extension Master Food Volunteer Meg and Extension Master Food Volunteer Jeff. They are both volunteers here at K-State Extension, Douglas County. Hello.
Hello there.
Hi there.
I am right now in Culinary Commons here on the fairgrounds, where they're in the middle of doing an applesauce creation workshop.
For the Ballard Center.
For the Ballard Center. That's amazing. And it's a process. I see these little apples all the time on TVs. I was like, wait, can they, not on TV, I mean like around Douglas County, but I wasn't sure if they were edible or anything because they were so small.
Yes, some of these are small. They're raised at a community orchard and with no pesticides. So we have to peel them and make sure we don't have any little worm visitors in them.
I understand. Back home, I have to often do that with peas for my dad's farm. So that's pretty cool. Well, I have a few questions for you guys as we wrap up this year. I wonder, what are some things, or one thing in particular, that you guys think about when you finish up the year? Like, oh man, this is my best memory of 2025 so far as an extension volunteer. I'll start with you, Meg.
Probably it would have been one of my Master Gardener because I am co-chair of the native plant sale, and we had expanded our native plant sale, almost tripled it, and we had so many people that came and were so happy to get the native plants, and so that was probably my highlight of the year.
That was exciting. I remember that. I was running around the native plant sale taking pictures for social media. It was super fun. A lot of people looked very excited, so that's pretty cool. What about you, Jeff?
Oh, probably the kitchen sale, seeing all the people in need needing all the appliances that they didn't have.
That's true. We have that every year, and this year they seemed like they really appreciated it, especially since there were vouchers or coupons for people who really needed it to get those extra things thanks to the community's donations. So that's pretty good. What are you looking forward to the most as an Extension Master Food Volunteer, Jeff?
Oh, probably getting new recruits, getting more people interested in food. You don't realize all the food shortages people are going through, especially nowadays with the inflation and different things like that. People are very insecure in food.
Yes, I agree. And I do hope that our listeners, if any of them are interested in becoming a volunteer for Extension, that they would consider becoming an Extension Master Food Volunteer as well as an Extension Master Gardener. And that information will be in the show notes of this episode. And the last question to you, Meg, what about you? What are you looking forward to the most in 2026 as an Extension Master Food Volunteer and an Extension Master Gardener Volunteer?
As a food volunteer, again, I help with the kitchen sale, and it is always so amazing to see what gets donated. And we've actually already started taking some donations, even though it's not time yet. But it's great to help people and outfit kitchens for people where they can cook. And as far as for Master Gardeners, it's like this year it's going to be our garden show in March. And so that should be a fun time, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Me too. I love an excuse to go around outside the office to see you guys going around doing awesome things for the community. More information will be in our show notes about these events that are upcoming, and it'll be a good idea for any listeners to follow us on our Facebook page. Show notes will have that as well. so you can get the most updated information on when these events are going to be happening. Thank you guys both for your time. I'll let you get back to peeling apples.
Thank you.
See ya.
I am here outside in the lovely demonstration gardens with one of our wonderful, wonderful Extension Master Gardeners. His name is Larry, and he was one of the first Extension Master Gardeners to welcome me when I started in this position. What is it, like almost 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. As one of the longest standing Extension Master volunteers I know in this program, what are your thoughts about how this year has been? What was your favorite part of this year as we wind down?
Well, my favorite part is what my favorite part has always been, and that is the people that I'm working with. Mm-hmm. We're all volunteers, which means we want to be here. We want to get things done. This is a demonstration garden, and what that means is that we're demonstrating what grows here in the area so that when the public is interested in some landscaping for their yard, they could stop by here, take a look, and go, oh, that's what I really enjoy, is just being around the people. It's a shared passion that everybody has, and it's good to be with like-minded people.
I agree. I tell every Extension Master Gardener that I come by this, but every time someone comes in and says, the gardens are beautiful, and I say, we have an army taking care of the gardens.
That was an army, and I tell you what now, this past year, I was in good fortune to be on the garden tour, and we had a small army that ranged between 5 and 8 people who came in weekly for 3 hours each week to get the garden at my home shipshape and ready for what turned out to be about 400 people over 2 days to take a look, ask questions. We had signage up so people could identify what the plants were, and it did take that army to make that happen.
That's amazing.
And that was this year. Next year, looking forward to the garden show, which will be here at the fairgrounds. And I'll be taking on the garage sale, where we take donations of garden-related items. It's not just dump off your stuff, but it's about those things that have been replaced, and we gather those up and make them available to everybody who comes in. And that line in the morning is really long. So looking forward to next year to the garden show.
Yes, me too. It's always fun. Everyone's in our Jura building. They come in there and they get everything in there, because sometimes they share garden art as well that they make as well.
Garden art, books. Are welcome. Magazines are welcome. And it's just fun. Once again, a good crew. I did this last year and had a really good crew, and I think most of them are going to sign up again. So it's fun for all of us.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time, Larry. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the final episode of the year for We Are Extension. Let us know by leaving comments on this podcast, sending us an email, or by visiting us in person. What was your favorite episode of the year? We will be going on hiatus for the time being, but we hope that you will keep an eye on our website, social media, or sign up for our podcast listserv to be among the first to know when we are back next year. All those links will be in the show notes. Until then, enjoy the holidays and stay safe. Thank you for listening to K-State Extension Douglas County's podcast. We hope you tune in again for not only more research-based information and resources you can trust, but also good conversation. Until next time.